I got the sun directly in my face. Hello, hello. Do the chat thing if you can see me. Hello, hello. This is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike's my name, kind of. And Torrevieja, that's a town in the southeast of Spain. Down and out. Well, what can you say about down and out? That means that I'm a hobo, a vagrant, a tramp, homeless. Here I am. Anybody there? I'm not seeing any chat. Okay, folks. I'm here even if you're not. What kind of week have we had? Who's here? Talk to me. Talk to me. Anita, hello, and you've got it to work. Hello, everybody. Anita's here. She got the chat to work. Are you on the iPad or did you have to switch to a different device? Oh, and the chat fades out. Just as I saw Chris K. Chris made it at last as well. He's been absent. Hello, my friend. Oh, and the chat it fades so quick. Not happy with the. Well, I'm not happy with the sun in my face. But I noticed last week the auto focus on the camera was dim and dull and bright and dull. It kept bouncing. So I thought I'd try a different angle, but I'm not sure. I might have to go the other way, guys. If I can't actually see bugger all, then what's the point? For anybody who's watching on the replay after the event, you might want to skip ahead to about the 10-minute mark. The first 10 minutes can be a little bit, I'm going to call it disorganized, while we wait for latecomers, stragglers to appear, and I just chat with the new arrivals. So if you're watching this not on a Sunday, if you're watching this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe skip ahead to 10 minutes, just to avoid the boring bits. How's everyone doing? What kind of week have we had? Yeah? Talk to Delta Mike. We had a good week or a bad week? Someone going past really slowly, look. Maybe taking an interest in me. Can you see the birds circling? They're here again. I just posted a video earlier, another nature video, because nobody was interested in any of my other videos this week. I had a really bad week YouTube-wise. We'll get into that shortly. Once we hit the 10-minute mark and everybody's here. Or not. Can I bring this closer? My arms actually... My arms... How much... Is that too quiet? You've been watching Rangers in Glasgow. Okay. You've been to the footy. I got no idea what's happening this year with the footy. I haven't. I know the season's not too far in, but I got no clue. I lost track a few years ago, to be honest. I think when I was running my own business, I lost track of football. I got pulled apart one night in the pub back home. I was basically accused of not knowing anything about football, because my knowledge was, even at that time, it was 5 or 8 years out of date, because I was busy elsewhere. I just didn't have the bandwidth for keeping up with it, watching Match of the Day and reading match reports and following the news. I'm so far behind, it's unreal. Basically, my era with football was Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush with Liverpool in the 80s. I could probably name the entire squad, or bits of squad from over several eras or epochs. Started following Liverpool Kevin Keegan, Steve Highway, and Phil Neal, Phil Thompson, Tina, hey, Tina, go, stop it. But that's many, I'm going back to the 70s. Ray Clements was my hero as a kid, the goalkeeper, replaced by Bruce Grobbelaar. Bruce Grobbelaar was great. Then there was the scandal about whether he was fixing matches or not. I don't really know how that ended. He was my hero. I mean, the way he was standing on his hands and the way he did the bendy legs thing in the penalty shootouts. How's my week been? Oh, cold and COVID. Yeah, COVID's back to bite everyone, isn't it? I've never had it, I don't think, and I've never had a COVID test. But then I don't meet people. Here's my great. If you want to avoid COVID, just live in the middle of a field and don't talk to people. Don't meet people. Seems to be the answer. Even when I had my apartment and COVID was a thing, I met 0 people per day on average. I mean, occasionally I would obviously stop and say hello to somebody in the street. But on average, 0 people per day. And that seems to be the answer, guys. Go live in the middle of nowhere. And even if you do meet people, stay 5 meters away from them and, stay safe. I don't know that COVID's a real... It seems... I'm going to get into Russell Brand territory here, aren't I? It seems that COVID only ever killed people that were already on borrowed time. The average age of people who died of COVID is higher than the average age of people who die in general. So that's a thing. There was a message there, I don't know. Hold on. See, the only way I can get these chats to come up, I can switch between what's called live chat and what's it called? Top chat. And if I switch between them, the message comes back. How do you find the level of isolation compared to before? Yeah, I've always been a bit of a loner anyway. I mean, I lived with a friend for 3 years, or what I thought was a friend. We've touched on that one before. Even back then, I mean, on average, I was meeting 1 person a day. This was where drinking came in, I guess. I used to go at the bar, Kino's bar in the park, the kiosk in the park, and alcohol is how I loosen up and gain not the courage, that's not the right word, but it's how I relax and chat to people. I'm not a great communicator, I'm not a great one. If you met me in real life, I'd probably stare at you, look uncomfortable and just keep walking. Maybe frighten you with a scowl. You should get accused of that with the hooded eyes, I don't know. I'm not the friendliest person in the world. So a couple of beers in the park and then I can chat to people. And then by the time we get to 6, 7 or 8 beers, it's a different story, isn't it? I get told that I talk too much. When I've had too much beer, I get loud. And maybe butt into conversations where I wasn't invited or where I wasn't wanted. Talk to people at the next table. 9 times out of 10 that goes okay and it's seen as a friendly gesture. Every now and again you get a group of people who didn't want the guy at the next table talking to them. So yeah, it's always a balancing act. Alcohol. Speaking of which, I got 2 on the go here actually. I'm drinking two-handed. I got a wine, red wine. Cheers to the subscribers and to you guys that have actually bothered to turn up today. Looks like there aren't actually that many. We're on 4 at the minute. I said it was a two-hander. The other hand is a can of Steinberg Classica. Paid for by Jan in the chat. He was here last week. I don't know if he's here this week yet. I think he's Dutch. He sent me some money on YouTube. He sent me 3 or 4 times now. He sent me some, not on YouTube, on PayPal. He sent me some money on PayPal and said, you know, some beer money. And I bought some beer, and here's the last. I got 3 or 4 left from the 12 that I bought last week. So I'm doing well, making it last that long. That's not usual. You guys, you got beer? Wine? Anita will have, come on. Fess up, Anita. People drain you. Yeah, people can be a challenge. I've never been great with people. Don't get me wrong, I'm friendly enough. You know, you meet me in real life, I'm perfectly sociable. It is just a bit of a strain. It's a bit. I've wondered whether I'm on the autistic spectrum, but whenever I do any of the tests, when you do the self-tests, it says not. But who knows? I gotta say, guys, I've got the phone on a different stand this week. It's on my phone stand, but it's up on a bowl. Let me show you. You see the big green plastic bowl. Normally I've got it up on a stainless steel pan that's only about half as high. I'm kind of struggling with my arm at this height, trying to help the audio. Don't know about that. Don't know. And I can't see a bloody thing. I might have to move around the other side. Cheers. Thank you, Anita. Yeah, I see you. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, big ears. Where are we on time? Oh, we're about 12 minutes in already. I guess we should make a proper start. Not too many. Not too many this week. Try and do better, guys. Try and do better. Let me tell you my current plans. Okay, so do you remember about a week, just before, it's maybe 3 or 4 days before the stream last week, I thought we were going to hit 250 subscribers. And what's happened ever since then is whenever we get to 248, we lose 2. So we gain 2, we lose 2. I don't think it's the same 2. You know, I think we gain new subscribers, then we lose some old subscribers along the way. Couple of possible reasons. I do quite the variety of videos, don't I? We have the bird videos, the kind of the nature, just a few birds flying around. Some people watch those and subscribe. And then in their updates, they're getting videos from a tramp and they don't know why. So that's one thing. That's probably the main one, to be honest. But then we got the cookery videos. Those drag a few new people in each time. And I guess you watch a cookery video from a guy, you subscribe, and then you get one about his broken tent or how his dog misbehaves or, you know. Oh, that one. I think that was last Saturday night, was it? When Tina ripped the hole all along the length of the bloody bottom of the tent. So there I am bitching away, making not a fool of myself, but you know, not looking good on YouTube, complaining about my dog. And for some reason, despite it having 0 likes, YouTube decided to push that out to everybody all week long. And so whereas my normal videos get somewhere between like 50 and 150 views, usually in the first 48 hours and then they die off. Well, this one did very little in the first 48 hours. But then it just kept going and kept going. Like it was getting 3 views an hour every hour all week long. And it's sitting there now on about 450 views. And like the only comments are from people saying, "Man up, you big wuss. You know, what are you complaining about? What are you tied your dog to the spiky log that tore a big hole in your tent. It's your own fault." That's kind of all anybody has to say to me. And they're not wrong, you know. I've always had to tie her to something because she's not well behaved otherwise. She would go away. She would be off, and I've frequently had to go and fetch her back from places that she shouldn't be, or from crossing the main road at the top there. When there were workmen here, when they built this big trench to drain the waterway, drain the storm waterway, that's improved my life immensely. But she always headed towards them, and she was there underneath the bulldozer, kind of, you know, under the tractor bulldozer. I've had to tie her to things, keep her here, and there isn't like a fixed point. There's not like one tree in the right spot. There's nothing fixed I can tie her to in the right area. So I tie her to heavy things. Bottles of water was one for a while, but she kept breaking the handles on them. So logs became a thing. Steve's in the house. Okay, Steve. Hello, my friend. I've always had to tie her to something, and there isn't a fixed object. It's not like there's a tree or a big rock or something. So logs seemed like a good. There's a balance, you see. Occasionally, people walk past here on the road, walking their dogs off the lead, and occasionally a dog will run into the camp. Well, Tina has to be able to defend herself when another dog decides to have a fight. If she was tied to something absolute, that wouldn't be great with another dog attacking her. She'd be fighting with one arm behind her back, kind of thing. Tying her to something like a log, where if she has to move, she can, but slowly, you know, but not. It's a balancing act. Now, I picked that log because it was heavy, it was dense. It was really heavy for the size of it, but it was spiky. And she dragged it right through the bottom of the tent, right along the bottom edge. Now, personally, I think that even if it had been a normal log, she would have still done the same when someone came into the camp, and it would have done just the same damage. I don't think it was the fact it was a spiky log that caused the damage. I think it was the fact it was a log. But what do I know? What we got going on here? Oh, you're driving home. Oh, I hope we can provide some entertainment. Yeah, do, Anita. Come on down. Where you know where we are. I mean, you know, or I could meet you somewhere. You're here now, so yeah. But people were. It's just a shame that the video that possibly shows the worst side of me. I mean, I was bloody angry. Imagine, guys, that you've got a tent that's roughly 4 meters long, and your dog puts a big rip 2 meters long along the bottom edge of it. It's a big old weakness in an already weakened tent. And I was fucking annoyed. I was fucking furious. But then I've got people that don't know me, who are seeing me for the first time, who are saying kind of, man up, it's your fault, but you know. And yeah, they're not wrong. I tied it to the log, it's on me. Oh, flies. Here's another one. Look, what's gone wrong today. When the flies are like this, buzzing around, and I'm not doing a video with you guys, I would go inside the tent and zip up my bedroom and be safe from them. Do a quick spray of citronella or something that flies don't like. Any flies that are inside the bedroom go out, I zip it up, and me and the dog are in there, and we're flyless for an hour or so. Just while they're at their worst. The last couple of days, the zip started to become faulty. It moves across, it stutters and staggers, and it leaves, it opens, it's leaving, it's not fastening behind the zip, behind the pull, the bit you pull along the two tracks, you know, the two bits of metal that you're fastening together. It's not securing them. so today for the first time, yesterday was just a little gap on it, and then it was sealed and it was unsealed and it was sealed. Now I moved the zipper all the way back to the beginning and it's all unzipped, and all the way back it doesn't. Small portions of it fasten along the way. Now I remember seeing a video somewhere where you could rub the zip with either soap or wax, which supposedly has a chance of fixing things up, you know, making the metal. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Rubbing it with soap or wax makes the two parts of the zip sync better and fix better. Allegedly. I don't know. Supposedly. Damn spell. What we here? 500. Yeah, I was. Yeah. So 500. 500. YouTube have just changed their monetization. It's not entirely monetization. YouTube used to be you had to have 1,000 subscribers and I think it's 4,000 watch hours in the last year to get monetized. So you get money from the adverts and things that are shown. And just recently they've been relaxing this and changing it. They changed it to 500 subscribers instead of 1,000. And 3,000 watch hours instead of 4,000. Yeah. And at first that was only in a few countries. Spain wasn't one of them. But they've just extended it out, and I just saw in the app, I think I saw yesterday or the day before, that I could now qualify if I get to 500 and get enough watch hours. Now my watch hours are way short. I'm halfway there on the subscribers. I'm almost halfway to 500, like we were just saying. I get to 250 and then it falls to 248, 247, 246. Every time it goes up a couple, it comes back down a couple. Somebody's pushing the button at YouTube to suppress this guy, keep him down. It's probably for my past sex crimes. That's a joke. I'm not Russell Brand. Tina girl, hey, Tina. Tina girl, Tina. Calma te, me come here. Tranquilo. Tina, tranquilo. Tina. Tina, calm down. Siéntate. Siéntate. Sit down. Sit down. Good girl. Sit. Can you see? Oh no, you can't see. Right, if I do that, I can't see what you're seeing. Are you looking at her or me still? Hopefully you're looking at her and she's sat down. I can't see. I can't see my own screen. Oh, now you're looking at her. Are you? Yeah, you are. I can see the bottle. Hold on. She's up to the right of the bottle. There she is. Can't actually see her, but yeah. Back to me. No. Back to me. Here we go. It's all about me, guys. It's all about me and my narcissism. That's what some say in the comments, anyway. I don't know. They might have a point. There's got to be an element of it, hasn't there? Yeah, but yeah, we need 500. So it's your job now, guys. I want every one of you to go out and recruit another, all 240, whatever, 46, 7, 8. You got to go out and get one subscriber each. One new subscriber each. And then we'll easily hit 500 from there. You do that and I'll bring in 4 or 5 and we'll go from there. Easy. Yeah, should take about a week, yeah? Okay, I'll leave that with you. That's not going to happen. But I did do a post last night saying I'll give it a month and we'll try and get 500. And in that month, I got my court case and things coming along as well. Things are all starting to kind of... Things are coming together, guys. One way or another, things will be resolved. For better or for worse. I know which way my money goes. But we'll see about that. We'll see. Hopefully for better. I don't have much faith in that direction at the minute. The birds are starting to circle and chirp. You should watch those when I do the bird videos. At night, put them on while you're in bed. They're good for... this one today, I slowed down to 50% speed. And the birds come past, and it's kind of zoomed in as well. It's zoomed in on a patch of sky rather than the full sky. And slowed to 50%. So you see them when you hear them. The audio's at 50% as well. So you're listening to them. It's kind of relaxing and soothing. It's kind of... You don't know, at any one moment, there might be no birds on screen, or there might be 10. When they swarm here, swarm's not the right word, is it? A swarm of birds? A flock. Is that only when they're on the ground? Because you have a flock of sheep, don't you? I don't know. Flock for birds, yeah? Flock of seagulls. Was that not that was a group in the 80s? Was it? But then that might be ironic. They might have deliberately mixed and matched to be funny. I don't know, because that guy had the weird haircut, didn't he? Covering his eye. I wasn't a fan of all that gender bendery kind of nonsense. Each to their own, but you know. I was a guy's guy. Does that sound wrong? That might even be a ladies' man. I don't know. What's right? What's the right terminology? I was a manly man. Drink beer. Ugh. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. Stay positive and manifest good thoughts. I try to do so. Speaking of which, guys and girls, there's a guy out there. His channel, Patrick Crow's Thunder. That's his name, believe it or not. Even the Crows with an apostrophe S, because he's Native American. I think they name their kids after the first thing they see or when they're born. I think that's the general principle. But he's a good guy. I started chatting with him online a little bit. There's a little bit of back and forth. He's a small channel, even smaller than mine at the minute, which is hard to believe, but it's true. What's interesting is when he releases a video, he'll get 4 or 5 new subscribers per video. I release 4 or 5 videos per new subscriber. There's kind of an opposite going on there. But Patrick Crow's Thunder, he chats about, it's a little bit new agey, except with the Native American bent, I guess. Does that make it not new agey? Does that make it old school, I guess? But he's wellness and well-being and cutting down, how to live a good life, cutting out alcohol and porn and whatever the bad things are in life. Cut that out. Screen time. Reduce your screen time and have a better life. He does all that and talks about all that. And I've watched, I'm not going to claim to have watched a lot of his videos, but quite a few. Tina girl, leave them alone. Leave Bruno alone. Hey. It's that one dog again. Tina! There's these people that come past every day, and there's lots of people come past with dogs, but this one dog, she just goes ape over every day. Tina girl! Hey! Enough! Stop or else. Hey, come here. Come and have a cuddle. Come to daddy. Yeah. Come on. Good girl. Can't quite reach her, but yeah. But so there's a couple of guys. So Patrick Crow's Thunder. Check him out, have a look. I'm not saying subscribe, I'm saying consider subscribing, like I do with myself. I don't order, I try not to be ordering people around. Another channel that I found really interesting, because Oh, now I've just forgotten its name. I think it's called something like Very Nearly Interesting. It might just be called Nearly Interesting, but I think it's Very Nearly Interesting. Quite a new channel, but he's doing really well. I mean, his production values are off the scale. Patrick, that I was just talking about before, he's at the point now where he's doing his 5 and 10 minute videos in one take, sometimes two with a slight edit somewhere in the middle that I can't even spot. But Tez, which I assume is Terry, but I don't know. Very Nearly Interesting. The research and his videos are so engrossing. Very Nearly Interesting. He's up to 1,000 or so. So a new channel like myself, but he's a little bit ahead of me. He's on 1,000 or so subscribers. But well worth you looking at and considering. Go give them both of them. Go have a look, and if you do subscribe, tell them I sent you. Yeah, you know, it's always nice to spread the word about other guys, other channels that are interesting. We need a channel promoter. Yeah, you know, if you know anyone that does that sort of thing, I am my own promoter, for better or for worse. Probably for worse. Let's see if I can get my head actually in shot fully. I'm not enjoying this extra height. This is killing my arm, to be honest. I might, if I can spot where I've left the other pan. Where was it? I don't know where it is. You know, when I do my cookery videos, everything's a one pot. Most things are a one. The big stews and casseroles, it's all that big stainless steel pot. I don't know where it is. It's on the ground over there. I might put it on the ground to let Tina finish off the last of the creamy mushroom, bacon and chicken casserole. The one that like 30 something people watched. Bugger you all to heaven. I spent, what, an hour and a half cooking that and another 2 hours editing the video. 30 something people watch it. I've been struggling with YouTube this week. This is a serious point. I had the 2-minute video I did cursing Tina. Was it 2 minutes or 3 minutes? That gets played to 400 or 500 people over the week for no real bloody reason. No likes, no dislike, no interaction, no nothing. Hey, Tina. Hey, babe. No, she's off. Oi. Come here. That's not allowed. Come on. You can't do that. No. That's naughty. No, you got to leave Bruno alone. Come on. Deja Bruno solo. Be good. Oh wow. Hey guys. Oh, bugger you. Hey! Shut the fuck up! You see what I have to put up with? She literally tried to run after that dog. She got held back because the log got wedged between the barbecue and a tree stump. Well, I call it a tree stump. It's freestanding, it's been cut top and bottom, it's a big lump of wood. It's not actually in the ground, you know, I picked it out with a skip and brought it back here. I thought it would make a useful seat. Well, actually I brought it back here for firewood. Like so much wood that I brought back here that ends up getting used elsewhere. This is the thing, guys, it's that womble. The wombles of Wimbledon coming our way, making good use of the things the everyday folk leave behind. I bring things back here for one reason, and then they get used for a different reason. So yeah, it got brought back here for firewood, and then I thought, oh, it might make a useful stool or a seat. And then it's become, its main use has been where I where I chop wood, cut wood. This will be interesting, he says. Are you looking in that direction? Can you see the stump there? It's got 4 saws sat on top of it. We'll talk about the saws in a minute. Where are we? I got no idea where we're looking. The camera doesn't point. Okay, there. You see the 4. You see the 4 saws sat on the tree stump. Well, that's a loose piece of wood. Tina should be there as well behind it, but I can't. There she is. There's my girl. You gotta have traditions, folks. Hey, girl. Kisses. Daddy loves his girl. Yeah, he does. Even though she's a bloody nightmare. Well, are we back to me or not? I don't think we are we? No, we're not. And again, no. Third time works a charm. That's me. Quick swig of beer. Nearly empty. Nearly empty, that's not good. But that's something from this week. I found those saws next to the bin, next to Repsol, next to the garage up 100 yards that way. And that's, God, a year ago. Anita, you're still here? Guys, Anita bought me my first saw. Anita bought me a saw, I'm not sure what month this year, April or May, I think. Might have been March or April perhaps. It revolutionised things, because till then I'd had a knife and a piece of rebar, a heavy lump of metal, and I'd been chopping wood. Now when you're chopping down the length of the wood, a knife and rebar, that works great for batoning wood, chopping it into smaller pieces. But I was using it across the grain. I was using it to chop up logs and because, it's all I had. Now the big lump of rebar was good for smashing up pallets. I could take a pallet and break it up. But if I got something like a gate post or a fence post, as well as coming down, I also needed to go across. And I was breaking the knives every now and again. Anita bought me the saw. Tina, her friend, and her husband, Eddie, they're the ones that gave me the knives and the rebar. And I'll be forever grateful, because that got me through last winter, the back end of last winter. Yeah. They got me through. I think it was December. They were leaving the country, and they left me 3 or 4 bags of wood, the rebar, and the Mora knife. Now there's a thing. So if you're in Britain, you'll know Sheffield steel. That's our kind of deluxe example of steel. In Sweden, it's Mora, M-O-R-A, I think is the spelling. And I didn't know this, but it's a town. It's a town in Sweden, and quite a famous one, a city in Sweden, quite a famous one. And Mora knives, I knew the knives, I knew the brand, because I was a bit of a prepper. I always wondered, God, this is going to sound bad in the circumstances, could I survive? If society ended, if I was kicked out into the wild, could I make do? Could I get by? I always wondered, well, and I used to watch these channels, and I had the odd prepper thought, It's kind of why I had the solar panel in the first place, and some other things. I had a fire kit and bits and pieces. But of course, when it happens for real, you're never actually prepared. And when you can only leave with what you can carry, you're further compromised. Yeah, so it wasn't it's not like how I'm living now is a test of my skills or knowledge of being I'm not some sort of doomsday prepper. I had what I had. I looked out for things, and when I see things that might be of use or of value, I pick them up along the way. Now, one interesting comment I got this week was someone who thought that my camp was, what was the word? Not just untidy, they thought it was unclean. They thought I had piles of rubbish that I wasn't throwing away, and they were telling me to put all my rubbish into one spot to dispose of, so the police wouldn't view me so badly. And I had to kind of explain that there's no rubbish here. Everything that's here is stuff I've chosen to keep. It might be disorganized, it might be untidy, but rubbish, I have a rubbish bin. I've always got a bag for rubbish, and my rubbish, once every 2 or 3 days, I take that bag away. The rubbish goes away. Always. There aren't piles here of rubbish. Now, there's a pile of glass jars and plastic jars over there that they mistook for rubbish, for debris, detritus. Those have all been washed out. But what happens is, you get a storm comes along, a thunderstorm, a rainstorm, and it deposits rain that's loaded with Saharan sand from the Sahara. And so when they dry, everything's crusty and brown on the outside, everything's dirty. I've also got water bottles, and I've got more. I probably could do with throwing a few away, but I've got a lot of water bottles. I've got a central store of them over there. I've got the ones that are in use here, and like a backup store just behind. And when they're empty and the wind blows, they get blown around, So when a gale force storm happens, thunder, lightning, so you wake up the next day and everything's everywhere, everything's all over the place. And maybe I've done a video in the few days following a storm, and they've seen this pile of glass and plastic jars covered in dirt. They've seen plastic bottles all over the place, and just my general, lack of organisation. And so they contacted me and kind of said, hey, here's a tip, maybe be clean. I can assure you, I'm clean. Disorganized, maybe. Untidy, at times, yeah. I mean, it always swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I mean, the day after you tidy up, everything's lovely and tidy. But then I've got a dog that'll run through, dragging the dog lead behind her, and all my tea and coffee. Like, if you look here, look. Is that still me? Click here, look. Do you see that wooden... you see the wooden... It looks a little bit like a pallet, which is tiny, small, on the floor over there. Well, that used to be my coffee making area. I'd have a jar of tea and coffee and, tea bags, coffee, sugar, powdered milk, whatever, honey. There's 2 jars of honey over there now. But Tina would come past. Okay, 3rd try. No, 4th try. And we're back. Tina would run through there, dragging her dog lead behind her, and just flatten everything there. So in the end, you kind of give up. I mean, what's the point of standing those jars up 4 times a day every day, or 6 times a day, 8 times a day? You just accept that, look, that's the area, that's the coffee making area, but things need picking up and they need picking up. I'll give you another idea, another example. Pots and pans and plates and knives and forks. If I keep them clean, so after I've used them, if I wash them and then leave them overnight, the wind's going to blow and maybe a bit of mildew and a bit of whatever, and then that evaporates in the morning and it deposits sand or grass or whatever blows over the plate. By the time I come to want to use the plate, it's as dirty as if it had never been cleaned. So then I have to clean it again just before using it. And so what's the point of cleaning it just after you've used it? If you're going to have to clean it again tomorrow before you use it, just wait until then. You develop a... I'm not going to call it lazy, it's efficient. To only clean it once, just wait until you're about to use it and give it a quick clean. It's... If I had somewhere, if I could clean them and put them somewhere safe, if I had a nice cupboard to put them inside, you know, that'd work. But I don't. If I could clean them once, then that would be the way to go. But that's not how it is. That's not the reality that I'm living in. The reality is cleaning it after you've used it and having it nice and clean all is not possible. It's just not possible. That's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. So I clean it 10 minutes before I use it. That works. That happens. That's the most efficient way for me in the current circumstance. Now, if you want to bring me a nice cupboard that I can store things in, that'd be great. Thank you. You might need to bring a new tent to put the cupboard inside. I don't know. Oh, I told you about the 4 saws, or I started to tell you about the 4 saws that I picked up the other day. Rusty as hell. Rusty as hell. And I spent half a day sanding 2 of them and then using one of them, and the usage actually made it shiny in the band that was used. You know, the part that cut through the wood. The wood did the job. But yeah, the person who threw them away thought they were beyond repair, and I don't think they are. I've only got one little tiny handful of sandpaper, but I've already got 2 saws. This is the thing. I mean, I grabbed them because, well, why wouldn't you? It's that womble thing again. It's that making good use of the things other people throw away. Anita bought me a saw, like I said, in March or April this year. And then Damien gave me a big, if I call it a big fuck off saw, don't take offense. But, you know, the one Anita got me was like a small handsaw kind of thing. And the one Damien brought me was a big, you know, tackle anything. The bits of hardwood that the little saw bounced off and never touched, the big one just cuts through like a knife through butter. Well, almost. Needs a little bit of manual effort. I am sweating and in kind of pain at the end, but I saw these and I thought, well, there's no point just letting them go to waste. I thought, I know other homeless guys, the guys who are living in caves who are breaking up wood every day. They tend to just rest the bits of wood against things and throw rocks at them till they break. But I don't know. Maybe they've got use for a saw. If not them, maybe someone else. So I grabbed them and I got the sandpaper on them and did it. But that's not the real find of the week. It's not in a good... I've hidden this away, but come with me. Is that... Yeah. That did the job. Right? So, you can't see it here. You can't see it yet. But behind here, behind these bags, and this ceramics, and behind this big piece of wood, okay, you see this nice big green box? There's the left side, across to the right side. It's, I don't know, it's about 1.5 meters wide, I would say. 4 feet, something like that. 4.5 feet wide. And, what, 2 feet high? Maybe not quite 2 feet, I don't know. Maybe 18 inch. 18 inch. Translate. 45 centimeters. 50 centimetres, something like that. Nice big box. I'm walking along the street one day, and this thing's, it's got a lid, but the lid was thrown, it was strewn away from it, not part of it. And it was full of junk, and the box itself, it wasn't outside a house or anything, it was near the park, and it was half in the parking lane and half in the road, so it was kind of a danger to traffic kind of thing. And I saw it, and I ignored it, and I carried on, and I went and sat in the park, and 4 or 5 hours later I went home, as you do. 4 or 5 hours later I went home, and it was still there. And as I was coming home, I saw some pallets by the bins over here, and I picked a pallet up and brought the pallet home, and there were some more pallets, so I took my little trolley that Harry and Jill bought me, and I went back for the pallets, but somebody had taken them in the meantime. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I just go and have a look at that box? It's full of rubbish, like I said, so I had to get the box onto the trolley, then take it to the bins, empty the rubbish. That should be in the bin. Had to empty the rubbish out of the box, and then bring the box back here. And it was quite the task. But I picked up quite a decent sized box there. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I can keep the sun off it most of the day. So one thought is it could become kind of my larder or fridge. You know, you remember subscriber number 100 who has never revealed themselves? Was it 100 or 200? Hold on. It was, oh, you tell me. I can't remember. I think it was subscriber 200. They bought me a small tent because this one had just had the split in the roof at the time. And my thoughts were that I couldn't move into the small tent because all that stuff in there, everything in there that needs storing. Well, that would probably more or less all fit inside that box if it had to keep away from the rodents. You know, the big ones. Not too bothered about the little ones, the mice, but the big ones. Starts with R, ends in at. But that box might be the difference. What do you think? You guys still here? Oh, we just had a bird fly right past the back of my head. Did you see that? So that was the thing. I mean, bringing that home, we got a few looks. If you can imagine my little trolley that normally just has little water bottles on it, suddenly having this, I don't know, 1.5 meters, almost 2 meter wide bloody plastic box. We came down a lane of the road and everything had to swerve around us, whichever lane we were in. And then we get to this little track, and then I try to drag it through the field. Yeah, you know, typical stuff. My beer's gone. Stand by, folks. Stand by. I can do the refill thing. Haven't seen Jan this week in the he's not here, no? Jan, I think he's from the Netherlands. Cheers, everyone. I'm still, get this. So this is, oh, here we go. I've come up with a new name for the show, yeah? TrampCast. It's a bit of a silly name, but you know, I needed something. I needed a handle for it. So retroactively, I've renamed. So TrampCast 1 was the first live stream that I did. And this is number 3. So number 1 and 2 are the previous ones. I've just almost finished creating the timestamps for the first one. I'll put them in soon. So anyone who wants to go back, because I was answering specific questions at specific points. You know, the Ask Me Anything thing, my background, my education, my business, my whatever. So I've almost got the timestamps done for that. So you'll be able to go in and jump from point to point rather than either guessing at random or watching. I think it's 2.5 hours, the first one. 2.5 hours. What are you doing? You got nothing going on in your lives. What are you doing watching 2.5 hours of this? I was going to use the swear word. It involved female genitalia, but no. What are you doing watching 2.5 hours of this guy? I don't understand you. I don't know why you're here. Maybe that's why none of you are this week. We're losing numbers each week. To be expected, I suppose. There was an initial interest, an initial mystery, which I've now sated. You're now fully aware of this is a nobody and it doesn't really matter, and that's all right. That's all right. But I don't know, what kind of week has it been overall? Pluses and minuses. Pluses and minuses. I've been disappointed with YouTube, my performance with the videos. My cookery videos normally get between 100 and 150 views. So to release one that gets between 30 and 40, I don't know, guys. Maybe the world's just not ready for... Well, I did 2 cookery videos, didn't I, this week? The Yorkshire pudding and the creamy mushroom, bacon and chicken casserole. And neither of them did well. Neither of them. But there is a thing at the minute where YouTube want you to purchase advertising, to push you, to promote your videos. So it's possible that they're deliberately suppressing videos to try and make you think that paying is the way to go. But look at me. I'm living in a fucking broken tent, and it's broken in, what, 4 different ways? It's split across the top, it's now split across this side, it's split across the back side, and it's split across that kind of rear side, the far side from us. And now the zip's broken on the bedroom, so I can't even go in there and be fly free. So I guess that's a fifth breakage, really. I mean, that's big. That only happened today, and well, it kind of started last night, but today is when it's really... That's a biggie. That's a biggie for me, because like I'm sitting here now, and there are at least 6 flies on my ankles while I'm sitting here. You've seen these birds? Look, there's one. Whoa! You almost hit my head. They're here for a reason. They're here because of the flies. If I can't get away from the flies, I mean, I'll find a way. If I just have to tape a tarpaulin over the doorway, whatever. But it was a mesh, so it was breathable and it let light in. It's like a step backwards, isn't it? I mean, it's only... Last week I was saying I only need the outer shell. There was nothing wrong with the bedroom. I don't need a full new tent. I only need the outer shell. Well, now that's not true. part of the bedroom is now broken, and a major, the doorway. The doorway doesn't seal. It's not enclosed anymore. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's the more I strive to put up with things and just make a go of it, the more I strive to just keep going, the more things collapse in on me and break in on me. The more things, I don't know. I think it's like I said in that video when Tina wrecked the tent. Sometimes I could cry. I don't. I'm not that guy. I could cry, but I don't. Very rarely. But when your main boundary between you and the outside world, the thing that you retreat inside, that bedroom, that mesh doorway, the fly screen that keeps the flies out, it doesn't seal anymore. You imagine an arch with a zip all around, and it just doesn't zip anymore. Maybe you take the zip to the top and the two sides flail inwards. I don't know. It's like I've said in 1 or 2 videos this week. You keep on keeping on. You manage because you have to manage. You keep going because you have to keep going. There's no alternative. You gotta just keep going. So I'll adapt. I will overcome. I will find a way around this problem. I don't know what it is though. Other than pinning a tarp, a big heavy tarp that'll block out all the light. You see, the mesh let light in and let air in. Gluing a big heavy tarp there, sticking a big heavy tarp there, that's different, isn't it? That's not the same. Fuck off. Flies. See, they have a period where they're all over you, but they're not bitey, and then you reach a time where they're all over you, and they're a little bit bitey. I don't know. Questions, comments? What are you guys? Do I read emails? Absolutely. Delta Mike @gmail.com. I read every email. Who asked that? That's Steve. Yeah, I read everything. You're miles behind in watching my, I presume that's videos. Yeah, vids. Yeah. Sorry, something was on the screen in the way. That's all right. I'm miles behind. I get so tired of watching them while I'm editing them that I push the button to release the final video, and I don't even check the... I was going to swear. I don't even check the thing. I've seen it and seen it and seen it, but then I push the button to make the final product, and I don't watch it again after. And I should, for quality control. And, you know, I watched one the other day, and the audio was so weak that I should have... In the audio, so in the software that I edit the videos with, I can double the volume. But some clips, that's not enough. So what I should do is double it to bring it up to the level of everything else, save the entire video, and then reload the entire video as a new project and double it again, and then push it out. That's what I should do. I don't always notice. Sometimes there's just a disparity in one clip within a video. Yeah, sorry. I'm a tramp. I live in a field. I've got a limited attention span for this crap as well. By the time I've spent kind of 8 hours looking at a video, piecing 32 small clips together to make something large, deleting half of it to try not to waste your time. Here's another one. I'll often speed a video up by 20%, 10 or 20% when I'm making it. You'll be able to tell now I'm quite a slow, methodical speaker. I think about my words while I'm speaking them. And that can really that can result in a lot of ums and ers and pauses while I try and find the right word. It often means that you can speed this shit up by 20% and it's fine, you can't even tell. Except when it's a cookery video and I'm stirring a pan. And suddenly I'm stirring the pan like, you know, like something went out of fashion, I don't know. It's a balancing act. I'm trying to save your time. If I can turn a 30-minute video into a 20-minute video, or if I can cut out bits and turn that 20-minute video into a 15-minute video, I try to. But in the end, sometimes a 50-minute video, 50 minutes, is just a 50-minute video, and it's just all there is to it. I tried one of the videos I did this week about fortitude, keeping on when everything's gone wrong. It was a 10-minute video, and on average, the few people that did watch it watched 3 minutes on average. Well, the payoffs at the end, the motivational speechy bit, the bit that's like, you keep going, you manage, you have to manage, there's no alternative, you survive, you keep going because the alternative is you don't survive. That's in the last minute or two at the end. So if you watch the first 3 minutes or the first, let's say that, I'll be generous, if 3 minutes is on average, let's say some people watch until 6 minutes. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. The payoff's at the fucking end. So then, I try and do a reduced version. I try and do a compressed version of the video. The last 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I release that. And people watch 1 minute of the 3 minutes. You're still missing the fucking end. Watch my videos. As I once said in an earlier video. That actually, I released a video and I said, watch my videos! Subscribe to my videos! Subscribe now! I got a lot of subscribers when I did that. Maybe I should do that every video. So if you're watching this now and you're not subscribed, why not? It's free. Just do it. It's free. Consider it, folks. Consider it. If it's your first time here, if this is your first time watching a tramp on YouTube, then maybe don't subscribe. Because the one thing that's worse for me is someone who subscribes but never watches another video. If you hit the subscribe button out of pity, but then you never come back, that actually harms me in the algorithm. That harms me with Google. They look at that and they think, hey, even his subscribers can't be bothered watching him. So if you've seen 3, 4, 5 of my videos and you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. You're obviously interested. You want to come back. You want to see how it turns out. You want to see what's what. How can he fuck up this week? Yeah, stand by. I'm going to amaze you soon. But yeah, think about subscribing. Give it a go. You got nothing to lose. A little bit of time maybe. But that's alright. We've all got time to burn. Most of us anyway. Me in particular. When I'm sat in the middle of a field, I got nowhere else to be. I got beer. Thanks to Jan from last week. Like I said, it's going to run out soon. I got PayPal, guys. When my beer runs out and I need more beer money, somewhere down there in the description. If not now, then later. There'll be the link to the PayPal donate page. I'll take any help I can get, not just for beer, but you know, for life in general. Those other guys doing YouTube, they'll tell you it's support the channel, whatever that means. For me, that means food. That means survival. You know, the guys the other week that decided I need a new tent and started sending me money for a tent. That, because I do. I thought I only needed the outside of a tent. Now I need the bedroom part as well. Presumably in another week, the tent, the poles that are bent over, the fiberglass or whatever kind of laminate, whatever they are, whatever the poles are nowadays, you bend over and make a dome tent. Presumably in the next week, one of those is going to break, just to set me back even further and show me that it's not just the outer skin I need, it's a whole new tent. I don't know. That seems to be the general, I hope it's not, but that seems to be the way we're going. Every time I think we've stabilised and that this is where we're at, something else happens to take me a step backwards. Like when I think we're going to hit 250 subscribers and we lose 2 and go back down to 248 or 246. I think we've been on 248 4 or 5 different times now, and then we fall back to 246. I can't explain it. It's never happened with any other number. I've had 2 days in the past where I end up on negative new subscribers, you know, where I lose 1 and don't gain any that day. I've had a few days where I lose 1 and gain 1, or lose 1 and gain 2. But I think 3 times this week I've ended the week on negative new subscribers. What am I doing wrong? Tell me. If I'm offending you, if I'm doing something wrong, if there's something not right here, if I'm not understanding something, you know, let me know. Let me know, guys. I don't know. Any questions from anybody? I'm on the beer already. I hope you are. But I'm open now. Floor's open to any questions. And if not, we'll be wrapping this up shortly. We're on 1 hour 12, 1 hour 13 roughly. I've run out of things to say, I think. I told you about Patrick Crow's lightning. Is it lightning or thunder? Oh, now you got me thinking. Patrick Crow's... I can't check. You'll find him. You'll find him. And I told you about Very Nearly Interesting. These are my 2 new friends online. It's a parasocial relationship, really. We don't really know each other, just a couple of comments backwards and forwards. But the Very Nearly Interesting one, he did a video of the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. You know the one? If you can keep your mind when, regardless of whether things go good or bad, treat these 2 imposters the same regardless. That one, I can't quote it. I love it. It's always been a favourite. Here's one for you. I'm from a coal mining village in South Yorkshire, near Barnsley. Arthur Scargill country. If you know anything about that, you'd know that we're not really supposed to like poetry. Fuck that. I don't go for those kind of stereotypes, those kind of norms. If it's a phenomenal poem, and the video that Tez did, the guy, Very Nearly Interesting. I think it's only the 4th or 5th of his videos that I've seen. His first one that I saw was, do you remember the Solway Firth the photograph of a little girl, and there was like a space, and apparently there was a spaceman behind her in a spacesuit. She didn't see the guy. Her dad, who took the photograph, didn't see the alien. This is in the late 70s, I think. And I remember it because I was living in that area. We lived in Penrith for 6 months. Then we went back to Barnsley. But then we went to Dumfries and Galloway, near the Solway Firth. And yeah, so we remember that. And I'm speaking on behalf of my family that I haven't spoken to. But we discussed that at the time. It was a major shock, a major revelation. But he did an analysis of that that I found really interesting, and also, you know, some of his late videos. But the one, the if, and I happened to comment and say, hey, I'm a tramp living in a field. I don't even speak I'm in a country where the field floods. I'm in a country where I don't speak the language, blah, blah, blah. But this poem, a reminder of this poem, was just what I needed at this time. And it was. Unfortunately, it didn't work because it was a day later that Tina did her thing, and I went kind of a little bit mental, a little bit aggro. I didn't treat the imposters the same because I was fucking annoyed. I'm not going to say I let myself down, but I kind of could have reacted better, I suppose. But then again, 9 times out of 10, I could have reacted so much worse. I mean, I could have kicked shit out of the little bugger, and I didn't. You know? That kind of damage to your living space. Oh, man. I don't know. You guys, back to you guys. Did anybody ask any questions? What's that? What was probably staged? The Solway Firth video. Photo. I'm catching up with the chat. I know there's not a lot of it. I'm still thinking I might do one midweek, guys, but kind of random, without any warning. Would anybody be up for that? If you flicked YouTube on and you saw that I'd been live for 10 minutes, would you come and join me on a Wednesday or a Thursday? Don't know. Nobody's talking. Talk to Delta Mike. Go on. Even though it's not my name. I was watching the first video. I doxed myself halfway through that. When the dog barked, I kind of gave out my real name. So I've told you this, yeah? My name's not Mike. Delta Mike is NATO phonetic alphabet for DM. So if my initials are DM, there's no way my name's Mike. But I like it. It works. It's okay. A couple of you out there know my real name. Anybody who comes here in real life, anybody who talks to me directly gets my real name. It's not some big secret. It's just a little bit of an alter ego, a bit of a performative. Like when Beyonce becomes Sasha Fierce when she's on stage. I'm that. I am Sasha Fierce. Or if you know a guy online, Drunk 3PO, he becomes Canadian Bear every now and again. Shout out to Drunk 3PO, everybody. Like C3PO, but instead of the C at the beginning, the letter C, use the word drunk. Drunk 3PO or D3PO. Look for him online on YouTube. Good guy. Hellish good guy. This is a man that he makes friends with superstars by accident while defending them one day. And then they find out that whenever he's got any free money, for the past 20 years, whenever he's had a job as a school teacher, once he's built up any money, he goes abroad and helps build schools and hospitals and, that kind of thing. Whenever there's been a hurricane or some kind of disaster and he's got money in the bank, away he goes, helping to rebuild. Hell of a guy. All of his friends have got like 10 times the following that he has online. But he's the real hero. He's the real deal. Drunk 3PO. Give him a look up. When you get there, tell him I sent you. He won't know who the hell I am, but maybe he'll notice me. Okay, guys. I think we're all quiet out there. I think we're all quiet out there. So we're probably going to call it a day. I'll maybe give it another, 7 or 8 minutes. We'll go to the 1:30 mark. You got any questions, comments? You want to call me a fool? Tell me I'm an idiot? Suggest what I should do differently? Recommendations for what I do with this big green box that I'm thinking of trying to use as my fridge, refrigerator, or larder, storage. Anything. What should I do different? What can you help me with? What can I do? Can I help you to help me in any way? Do you need anything from me? Like I said, I'm looking to get to 500 subscribers in just over a month, like in 5 weeks' time. If any of you know someone that can help and you need me to do something to improve the situation, to help me to help you, or help you to help me, I've got no idea where Matheron is. I got no idea, mate. I'll go look it up afterwards. Sorry, I can't. While we're in the video, I can't do anything without losing the stream. Where are you, Steve? You're in the UK at the minute. You're in Glasgow or nearby. You were just at the football. What's your connection with Torrevieja? Is there a connection? Yeah, you're in the UK, yeah. Do you have a connection with Torrevieja? I've got the sun's getting lower and lower, guys. Next week, I don't know. Last week I was the other side of the table, and we had that horrible thing where the brightness kept flaring up and down. I thought this week I'd avoid that by being lit, but I can't see bugger all. Maybe if I put the phone inside a cardboard box. Okay, Murcia. All right, just 20 minutes south of here. Tina's actually from down that way. Albox, I don't know how to say it. But yeah, she's originally from aren't you, babe? You're from further south. Yeah, you are. Let's have a look at her. She's kind of here. Here's my girl. There she is. That's. We'll take that still. That can be the. That can go on the thumbnail after we're finished. Hey, babe. There she is. Anyway, back this way. Focus on me where it belongs. Hey, jazz hands. The other big thing this week. What do we all think of the Russell Brand thing? I'm not really going to do politics on this channel as a general thing, but oh yeah. I know that channel. There's a few Torrevieja channels. Yeah. Let's bring it back. I don't know why I have to click two things just to. Angela, it's the first I've seen of you. Where have you been? Looking after your sick dog. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it wasn't too many treats. I hope you've not just been feeding too many treats. That was last week, wasn't it? Just to stop it from pestering you. I thought Piper was going to be here as well. Piper said in a chat earlier that in a comment earlier that she'd be here, but maybe not. I don't know that one, Steve. Sean Matthews. I'll look for that. Okay. Expat in Matheron. Tina girl. Tina. Kamate amiga mia. Tranquilo. She entered. Yeah, okay. He sat without me saying. That's good. Where are we? 26. I was going to say the Russell Brand thing. I'm not an overly political person. I just can't help kind of saying innocent until proven guilty. Anyone? Just for YouTube to be closing down monetization, taking away someone's livelihood, at the behest of a government request. A government request where there's been no due process, no courts and police and investigations and guilty, not guilty. That makes me wonder whether YouTube is somewhere I want to be. Now, you guys are just kind of normal. I'm a tech kind of guy, so I know about Rumble and a lot of these other alternate platforms. How many of you guys know about these other platforms, and how many of you have accounts on other platforms? Anybody? Or is YouTube your only video source? Because I think this is an important point. Me and my no followers want to send a signal to YouTube. That's not right. You don't cave to government pressure where there's been no due process. You turn around and you tell that government, no. Just has to be no. When a government asks, hey, is this guy monetized and do you plan to keep him being monetized? They're not really asking. They're suggesting that they want him to not be monetized. And I don't like that. Listen, regardless of whether he's guilty or not, regardless of whether he did it or not, and in my mind it's entirely kind of 50-50. The guy was what you might call an expert swordsman in his day. By all accounts, he was getting 3 new women a day, every day. 3 new women. And keeping up with old ones that were coming back for more. It's quite an achievement. Whether that leads to someone being I can do what I want when I want kind of attitude, maybe not. But to me, due process, trial, juries, evidence presented, for and against. We haven't had any of it. So for a government to be contacting companies and saying, hey, please demonetize, please delist, please take him off your platform, that's anathema to me. That goes against all tenets of free speech. And as far as I understand it, get this, It goes against the Magna Carta. That's 800 years of actual law. 800 years of actual written law, and maybe 500 or another 1,000 years of law before it was written. Is that where we want to be? Do we want to be throwing that away because he might be guilty? That's not where we want to be. It's not where I want to be. Like I said though, guys, I'm not a political channel. This isn't going to be a regular thing discussing politics on here. If it was, I would start a separate channel. This is a Tramp's life on YouTube. So I mention this just because YouTube and YouTube's behaviour, I disagree with. I disavow YouTube's behaviour on this issue. That is all. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Delta Mike, out. Awkward moment.